There is no alternative to Ukrainian victory. That was the message today from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky speaking to leaders at the Munich Security Conference. Zelensky told the leaders that Europe and freedom cannot be the subject of compromise. The Ukrainian president reminded the gathering that David defeated Goliath not by the power of conversation, but by the power of these actions, by courage and the sling.
We need to hurry up. We need the speed of our agreements, speed of our delivery to strengthen our sling, speed of decisions to limit Russian potential.
Meantime, Russia has switched its aerial strike tactics to fool Ukraine's air defenses, using decoy missiles without explosive warheads and deploying balloons. Russia seems to be changing tactics as the war approaches its one-year anniversary in exactly 1 week. Almost 2 weeks after powerful earthquakes struck the region, people in Turkey are scrambling for shelter and basic supplies. This comes as rescue and search and recovery teams are still pulling survivors from the rubble. Overnight, a child, a woman, and 2 men were found alive in that wreckage. Officials are still working to find space and resources for the thousands of people injured and hospitalized. The influx of patients has prompted a medical supply shortage. In response, the UN asked for $1 billion to help. On top of this, freezing winter temperatures are delaying relief efforts as millions of people are now displaced.
Hey there, as you can see, an overcast, very rainy day here in Warsaw. That has not slowed at all preparations for President Biden's visit here next week. I spoke with the mayor of Warsaw today, said that he is very excited to host the president and very thankful for the support his city and his country has received in hosting so many of the refugees that have made their way from Ukraine and continue to pour into this country. Across the border in Ukraine, there are new reports of stepped-up attacks by Russian forces, including a new tactic in the air, decoy missiles that are used to throw off air defense systems, and more of the rockets are apparently getting in and striking areas where civilians are present, in neighborhoods and shopping centers. That's something we've seen really escalating over the last several weeks as the war picks up its pace as we get closer to a full year of the Russian invasion. It's a situation where the Russians are also apparently at this point using balloons over Kyiv, and those are being used as a distraction as well. This, again, all part of that new strategy from Russian troops. They're no longer just coming in force, but instead a bit more strategic as this war continues. That's the latest from here in Warsaw. I'm Jay Gray. Now back to you.
In the steel furnaces of Scranton, Pennsylvania, the weapons of war are in high demand. 1-ton metal rods heated and forged into about 11,000 high-explosive artillery shells a month. CNN got a rare look inside the Scranton Army Ammunition Plant, one of only a few in the country that make this crucial round. Here, specially made steel is heated to 2,000 degrees and slowly shaped step by scorching step into its final product.
To this point, it's only taken a few hours to heat the steel and then to turn it into what looks like an artillery shell, to press it into that familiar shape. But it's still days of testing and inspections to make sure that this can be turned into a 155 millimeter artillery shell that can be fired on the battlefield.
The process doesn't end here. The empty shells are shipped to another plant for explosives and fuses. 5,000 miles from the front lines and Mother Russia, the enemy here is Father Time. Ukraine can burn through the plant's monthly production in half a week, locked in a grinding war of attrition with Putin's army and Russian mercenaries.
The current rate of Ukraine's ammunition expenditure is many times higher than our current rate of production.
1 year in, the war has turned into a vicious math problem. How to make enough ammo for Ukraine, the United States, and allies. The Pentagon is already planning on new ammo plants in Texas and Canada, part of a race to increase the capacity of the defense industrial base. Doug Bush is the Army's head of acquisitions.
Right now, we're meeting demand. Of course, I would want it to be faster. Everyone does. But there's a time factor. A year to 18 months is often what you're looking at.
Bush says this is the greatest ramp-up in military production, possibly going back to the Korean War.
Early on, we realized we had to really put our foot all the way to the floor.
The goal within 2 years is to produce 5 times more artillery rounds each month, up to 70,000. Twice as many Javelin anti-tank missiles, up to 4,000 a month. 30% more rounds for the HIMARS rocket launchers, about 850 a month. The precision weapon Ukraine has used to target Russian command posts and ammo depots, and 60 Stinger anti-aircraft missiles each month. The U.S. isn't at war with Russia, but that matters little to weapons manufacturers whose products are part of the fight.
Our defense industrial base is still largely geared towards a peacetime environment and not towards a wartime or at least a quasi-wartime environment that we're now in.
To get a sense of just how much the Army is investing in this, within the last couple of weeks, the Army has announced $1.5 billion in procurement of new 155mm artillery rounds. They're trying to produce this crucial ammunition faster, and they're trying to produce more of it. Oren Lieberman, CNN at the Pentagon.
Leave a comment and share this video with your friends. With daily uploads, there will always be a conversation.